Zuko, stop moving! I'm trying to capture the moment! I wanted to do a painting, so we always remember the good times together.
That's very thoughtful of you, Sokka. Wait, why did you give me Momo's ears?
Those are your hair loopies!
At least you don't look like a porcupine. My hair's not that spiky.
I look like a man.
And why did you paint me firebending?
I thought it looked more exciting that way.
Spanning 3 seasons and 6-to-1 episodes, creators Brian Konietzko and Michael DeMartino managed to capture lightning in a bottle. Even though there's been a sequel show,
maybe I can help you.
I know you.
I was good friends with Avatar Aang.
Iroh.
Hello, Korra.
a comic series, a collection of video games, and even a terrible live-action movie we all pretend didn't happen.
Avatar is dead. If he was here, he would protect us.
My name is Ang. And I'm the Avatar.
The Last Airbender remains as the most iconic out of the bunch. However, the show we now know and love wasn't always the show that was envisioned. It may shock you to learn that a twist of fate could have altered entire moments.
Get out! Get out of my sight right now if you know what's good for you.
That's another thing. I'm not taking orders from you anymore.
You will obey me, or this defiant breath will be your last.
Think again. I am going to speak my mind, and you are going to listen.
Despite his relentless attempts to hunt down Aang for the first 2 seasons, Zuko ended up becoming perhaps the biggest fan favorite of The Last Airbender.
My first girlfriend turned into the moon. That's rough, buddy.
His arc, from a hate-filled prince who is desperate to win his father's approval to a confident leader who earns his nation's trust, is one of the most fulfilling of the show's run. Given his significance and popularity, it's almost astounding to learn that the show almost aired without Zuko at all, as the young prince of the Fire Nation was one of the last characters to be written in.
I'm going with Zuko. What? Everyone else went on a life-changing field trip with Zuko. Now it's my turn.
Originally, the writers had intended the Fire Lord to be the big bad of all 3 seasons. However, they soon realized that they couldn't do enough with the Fire Lord just sitting on his throne, and wrote in Zuko's character instead.
Here we are in the Earth Kingdom.
I better have a look around to see if I can find an earthbending teacher.
This is it. This must be where I come in.
I flew all over town, but I couldn't find a single earthbending master.
Here it comes.
You can't find an earthbending master in the sky. You have to look underground.
Although she looks like a helpless little blind girl, Toph is actually one of the most powerful earthbenders in the history of the series and is responsible for inventing the technique of metal bending.
If you open your mind, you will see that all the elements are one, 4 parts of the same whole. Even metal is just a part of Earth that has been purified and refined.
Come on, metal fudge.
Woo! Toph, you rule.
The fact that she's small but powerful gave Toph enormous appeal, but it's almost scary to think that this iconic earthbender came close to end up as a big bulky meathead. Initially, the writer's plan was to make Toph a ginormous looking dude with the physique of someone like Hulk Hogan or The Rock. Worse yet, the character wasn't written as being blind, and was even pitched as a potential love interest for Katara. Thankfully, the idea was scrapped, and the much more creative design led to the Toph we know all today.
Almost perfect. 1 hair out of place.
Almost isn't good enough.
Another powerful female bender was Azula, princess of the Fire Nation and older sister of Zuko. As the daughter of the Fire Lord, Azula exhibited immense strength and a sadistic evil attitude to go along with it.
Well,
You've beaten me at my own game.
Don't flatter yourself. You were never even a player.
Given her authoritative and insidious nature, it's almost unthinkable for her to get romantically involved with anyone in the show. But that's exactly what the writers intended to happen towards the tail end of Book 3. One of the subplots of the final season was going to involve Azula being set up in an arranged marriage.
Don't you see what she's doing? She's just playing with us. She's not even trying to win this fight.
Not true. I'm giving it my all.
You're trying to keep us here and waste all our time.
Right. I think your friend just said that, genius. And since you can't see, I should tell you I'm rolling my eyes.
However, the writers didn't think there was enough meat to the story and scrapped the idea. Good thing, as it would have been unfortunate for the viewers and even more unfortunate for anyone who wound up with Azula.
You think we can outrun them?
I don't think it's gonna matter.
What is it, Momo?
One of the best episodes came towards the end of the second season with Lake Laogai. In it, Aang and the group run into former antagonist Jet, who's been brainwashed in a secret underground lab led by a faction of the Earth Kingdom. Though Lake Laogai is a thrilling episode, it's also one of the most culturally relevant, because the underground prison camp is actually based on a true story, sort of. In Chinese, Laogai is short for Laodong Zhao, an even longer word that actually means reform through labor. Laodong Zhao was also the name of a Chinese political prison camp used in the 50s and 60s.
For the time being, we have frozen Mr. Ganlan's assets and are closing Cabbage Corp.
No! Not my Cabbage Corp!
If you're a fan of The Last Airbender, then chances are you recognize this unlucky street merchant who is constantly trying to save his wagon of produce from utter destruction. Originally written in as a one-off joke, the Cabbage merchant was such a hit with fans that the writers decided to make him a running gag throughout the series.
Your Majesty, these juveniles were arrested for vandalism, traveling under false pretenses, and malicious destruction of cabbages.
Off with their heads! One for each head of cabbage!
The merchant shows up in 3 more episodes, his cart usually being destroyed by Aang and the crew, with the merchant exclaiming,
My cap! Oh, forget
Now would you please put on some clothes?
The entire cast of The Last Airbender did a phenomenal job in bringing their characters to life, but legendary voice actor Mako Iwamatsu did an especially nice job with Uncle Iroh. Powerful, wise and commanding, Mako was the perfect choice to play the old jovial firebender who provided the emotional backbone of the series. However, tragedy struck in the middle of season 2 when Mako unfortunately passed away from esophageal cancer. In a scramble, Nickelodeon tried replacing the actor the quickest and best they could. They accomplished that task by hiring Greg Baldwin, Mako's understudy. The actor did such a fine job filling in that some years later he also took over Mako's role of Aku for the 5th and final season of Samurai Jack.
Thanks for bringing Appa to me. The Fire Nation is up to something. I have to go back now.
We'll come with you.
I could take you back to the village.
We're going with you.
You found the Avatar.
For a moment, I had my honor back.
The Last Airbender is a sweeping epic with limitless world building and fully realized characters. With such rich material to mine from, it would only make sense that the series would eventually be adapted into a live-action film. However, some ideas are best left on paper. The 2010 adaptation, directed by none other than big-time director M. Night Shyamalan, was chewed up and spit out by hardcore fans for glossing over pivotal moments of the story and turning the characters into one-dimensional stock types. Actually, The movie's failure is foreshadowed in The Boy in the Iceberg, the fictional Fire Nation play from the show that retells Aang's story. Embarrassed, the gang describes the play as bad but with decent effects, which is pretty much the film in a nutshell.
Since you're a full-blown traitor now and you want me gone, why wait? I'm powerless. You've got your swords. Why don't you just do it now?
Because I know my own destiny. Taking you down is the Avatar's destiny. Goodbye.
Coward! You think you're brave enough to face me, but you'll only do it during the eclipse. If you have any real courage, you'll stick around until the sun comes out. Don't you want to know what happened to your mother?
Though we don't see a lot of him until the 3rd season, Fire Lord Ozai is one of the most powerful benders of the series. He's the incarnation of pure evil, a domineering, sadistic ruler who is consumed only with rage and power. He's the kind of malevolent bad guy who scars his son for simply speaking out of turn, or burns down the entire Earth Kingdom just to prove a point. With such a big scary personality, Nickelodeon was tasked with finding a voice that could provide the right candor to bring this evildoer to life. They found it in none other than Luke Skywalker himself, Mark Hamill. Hamil, who had past experience with bringing animated bad guys to life.
I'm sorry I yelled at you before.
It doesn't matter.
It's just that for so long now, whenever I would imagine the face of the enemy, it was your face.
My face.
Although Katara finally gets romantically involved with Aang in the series finale, she almost wound up with the Prince of the Fire Nation himself, Zuko. The idea of Zuko getting together with Katara was an idea that floated around the writer's room for most of the series. It's no surprise they would toy with the concept, considering there was already plenty of evidence from the show to support it. Katara is a lot closer to Zuko's age than Aang's, but sadly, for those who desperately wanted to ship the two benders, their romance just wasn't in the cards.
You never think these things through. This is exactly what happened when you captured the Avatar at the North Pole. You had him, and then you had nowhere to go.
I would have figured something out.
No! If his friends hadn't found you, you would have frozen to death.
I know my own destiny, Uncle.
Is it your own destiny? Or is it a destiny someone else has tried to force on you?
Stop it, Uncle. I have to do this.
I'm begging you, Prince Zuko. It's time for you to look inward and begin asking yourself the big questions. Who are you? And what do you want?
If you were to make a list of impossible things that could have happened in the series finale, Sweet Uncle Iroh stabbing Zuko in the back would probably be at the top. There isn't a more likable character than Iroh in the entire series. He's wise, funny, powerful, and he's completely responsible for putting his troubled nephew onto the path to redemption. However, Iroh's original role in the series was intended to betray Zuko in the series finale, acting as a double agent and throwing all of the character's rich history out of the window in favor of a lazy twist. What a kick in the pants that would have been.